Good evening, our beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching our live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. About health issues, launch of a second phase of vaccination against polio. And on the international scenes, in Angola, the country wants to attract foreign investors. Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, is scheduled to pay a 72 hours visit in Ethiopia, capital Addis Ababa, at the invitation of the Ethiopian Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. For more details, with our colleague Hidayah.
Of the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, will pay a 3-day state visit to Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, tomorrow, Sunday, March 27, 2022. During this visit, which is part of the strengthening of friendship and cooperation relations between the two countries, the head of state will hold one-on-one meeting with the Ethiopian Prime Minister, with whom he will discuss issues of common interest. President Guelleh's state visit will also be marked by an extended working meeting in which delegations from both sides will take part. Djibouti and Ethiopia being two countries linked by fraternal and historical ties, this visit by President Guelleh will further strengthen their bilateral relations. In addition to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the President of the Republic will hold talks with the other main political leaders of this friendly and neighboring country.
It was on the top stories. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdillah, launched the activities and the second phase of a polio vaccination campaign at Farah Fahad Clinic, the occasion of the launching of the second phases of the vaccination of polio on the children against the polio was attended by senior personnel from the Ministry of Health and official from the UNICEF. This step came on 1 month after the launch of the first phase of the 5-day polio vaccination campaign targeting all children under the age of 5 throughout the national territory. About 50 children were vaccinated during the launch of this campaign by the Minister of Health and the representative of the United Nations organization operating in the country, receiving the second dose of vaccine for the children under the age of 5 is essential because of its provide them with complete immunizations against polio. Thanks to this campaign, our country has been free for more than 2 decades, and it's carried out regularly in order to protect our children is so that they can thrive the life in a healthy environment. The Health Minister, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdillah, in his speech, urged the residents, especially parents, to vaccinate their children by greatly benefiting from this second round of the door-to-door campaign that will be implemented across the country. He continued. It was yesterday, Friday, the Oboh Region Development Association, known as ADO, organized the activities of third national edition of the Korangar March, which was held at the site of Seven Brothers for tourism and fishing. The activities of the march took place in the cooperation with the governor of Oboh region, the regional council, and a large number of audience, including members of the government, such as the Secretary of State in charge of sport, the Oboh Okals, and also the head of the regional council, Mohammed Hamad, the secretary general of the state secretary in charge of sport, Ms. Khadija Ibrahim, and the director general of the Djiboutian Agency for Development, Mr. Mahdi Mohammed, in addition to the professor and teachers of the region of Oboh, also participate in this march. This march was launched under the slogan of a young people committed to protecting the forest. This march is considered as a popular demonstration aimed at promoting and developing youth in the region of Oboh. The head of the regional council in Oboh, Governor Mr. Mohammed Hamad, praised in his intervention for the good organization of this march. He said this march is an event aimed at educating young people about the importance of preserving national cohesion, protecting the environment, and consolidating the principle of cohesion and coexistence among people in the Horn of Africa and on the continent, he said. For her part, the Secretary General of the State Secretariat in charge of sport, Ms. Khadija Ibrahim, said and expressed in her intervention her happiness to participate in this march. And she said, "We are in the third edition of the march in the Korangar, which is organized by the ARD Association in Oboh region, and it is an honor for me to participate in this march, as the slogan of this edition was the youth committed to protecting the environment. This is the second part in the region. It is an honor for me to participate with the ADR Association," she said, and organizing this march to preserve the environment and which is active and always present next to the people. Under the auspice of the region, under the auspice of Abu Ahmed Abdel Rahman Ahmed Taha Group, the DECO company, the Yemeni school held this morning in the Great Halls of the People's Palace an event dedicated to the conclusion of the 2021 and 2022 school year, and he farewell to the spirit of creativity batch of high school students, which is the 31 batches since the establishment of this educational institution in 1991. This joyful celebration was held in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Mahyoub, the Yemeni ambassador, and also the diplomatic corps of Djibouti, but also the commander of Djiboutian Coast Guard, Colonel Wais Omar Bukhari, along with the member of the founding body, as well as the director of the Yemeni schools, Mr. But also Mr. Abdul Raqib, and the head of Paranese Council, and the group of Taha, the owner of the DECO company, were attend in this ceremony. Many parents, in addition, to faculty member and hundreds of students in this ceremony, educational, which contribute significantly to the effort of teaching and spreading the Arabic language in Djibouti. Also participate in this event, the occasion which the Yemeni school has been organizing annually, witness various segments of Somali and also Arabic folk dances, and which the audience interact with great cohesion. Within the framework of the Cultural Promotion Program for Djiboutian Youth, the Community Development Center of the region of Tajura organized a cultural evening. This occasion was intercepted with the traditional and folkloric dances and theatrical play that demonstrate importance and commitment to the promoting culture. It took place in the presence of the officials from the Ministry of Youth and Culture and the local official from the region, including the governor of the prefect of Tajora region, Mr. Hassan Dabele. For his part, the Deputy Regional Director of the Ministry of Youth and Culture highlighted the establishment of a database for cultural and folk the dances club in the region. He said in his speech by noting that the dances competition and the exhibition will be organized soon. Uh, as for the Center for Community Development, she congratulated the center team of Tajora region organizing this cultural evening and stressed the willingness of the Minister of Culture to provide support for all initiatives aimed at supporting them. The prefect of Tajora region, Mr. Hassan Dabeli, in his speech expressed, he said to the part, he said, "It is a pleasure for me to participate in this cultural evening, which was attended by the Community Development Center in Tajora, and I congratulate the youth and encourage them to stay on this path to enhance the cultural heritage and pass it on the next generation, continuing to support youth initiative." He affirmed his willingness and readiness to support cultural and youth projects in the region, appreciating the role of the Center for the for this role and supporting youth and standing by them, by their side, contributing significantly to reviving the cultural scene through its continuous work. Still in Tajura, the Diwan Al Zakat Foundation distributed to the proceed the zakat for the year 2021 to its beneficiaries from Tajura region in the north, the country. 108 poor family in the Tajura region is various village sub-district benefited from this proceed of zakat fund. The office also distributes sponsorship for orphans, especially the third and fourth batches, to 76 orphans due to the advent of the blessment of Ramadan. The office of Diwan al Zakat also distribute a gift of that to all beneficiaries of Diwan al Zakat and sponsorship distribution, as well as to the personals from Tajura region and the distribution ceremony was attended by the governor of Tajura region and the regional council, but also the director general of Diwan al Zakat, Sulaiman Hussein Musa, and his senior assistant, also the personnel from the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowment participate in the ceremony. On this occasion, the official emphasized the importance of this project, which is to stabilize to promote the poor family, enhance effort to fight against poverty, and support the government's social policy. The Director General of Diwan al Zakat, Sulaiman Hussein, said in his speech that this distribution ceremony conveyed the greeting of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Margili, who launched this zakat from everywhere in the country, he said, and played the pre-roll, which was established the 2004, but also the third Islamic fair pointed out that 18 March, which is give beneficiaries of sponsoring the addition and approach the Ramadan meant. In line with the administrative and economic tasks, the elements of the National Gendarmerie Station in the Dakhel region and implementation to the Directive of Governor in Dakhel region and cooperation with the Ministry of Trade and Tourism began monitoring the prices of basic food product in Dakhel region. The Gendarmerie team of Dakhel are directed to the various point of sale in order to closely monitor the prices of a basic food stuff and product in the local markets and ensure that the vendor completely the prices set by the Ministry of Trade. The main objective of this operation is to mitigate the effect of inflations on consumer to ensure the availability of the basic foodstuff and impose prices provided by the Ministry of Trade and Tourism. During this operation, the gendarmerie noticed the traders to this end the violation of a point of sale were closed and heavy control prevention operation will continue in the coming days in order to stabilize the some basic necessary, especially the holy month of Ramadan is approach. And now moving on to the international scene, the work of the first business forum between the Republic of Angola and the European Union was held yesterday, Thursday, in Brussels, a day after holding important seminars on ways to invest in this country. On the sidelines of this forum, a series of dialogue between the public and private sector were organized in order to persuade Europeans to invest in Angola. The government presented to more than 800 participants the most important reform that Angola has implemented in recent years, said the Angola minister, and it is this country that is open to the international investor. In a few years ago, it was not this level of development, and now there are many opportunities to implement project, and government itself has set a series of rules that allow international investors to go in Angola and invest in the country. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.